Hi besties, welcome back, or if you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Regan. Thank you for being here. I fear I'm severely slacking in the reading department right now. I've had no motivation, nothing has really been interesting me, and I've basically just been glued to either my phone or my iPad. And I can feel myself getting in a little bit of a rut, and what better way to get out of it than a 24-hour readathon. The last time I did a 24-hour readathon, I did the timer method, so I'd start the timer when I was reading, pause it when I stopped. I was filming that video for at least a week, and I don't want to be doing that this time. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I can do 12 hours today and 12 hours tomorrow. Whether it's going to work out that way, I don't know. But that's kind of the game plan for this video. I don't have any specific books on my radar that I want to pick up. Abby Jimenez's new book has just come out today, so I want to get my hands on that. But I am currently in the middle of Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. This is the third book in the Boys of Tommen series, and I am just under 200 pages in. So this will be the first book that I definitely read in this video. And as for the rest of them, I guess we will see. It's a great opportunity for me to just sit and read whatever the hell I'm in the mood for, which is always great. So I'm going to get myself comfy, I'm going to get a drink and some snacks, and I'm going to start the 24-hour timer. And I guess I will catch up with you when I have some updates on Saving Six. Okay, I'm now halfway through Saving Six. As I said, this one is following Joey and Aoife, and the book basically starts with Joey starting high school where he first meets Aoife on the first day. Aoife has a boyfriend through the first half of this book who she's very on and off with. She clearly doesn't want to be with him, and she's very clearly in love with Joey, but Joey doesn't want to be with her. Well, he wants to be with her, but he doesn't want his trouble or Aoife getting caught up in his trouble. Does that make sense? Obviously, we found out in the first two books that the Lynch family is very abusive and traumatic. Their dad is an alcoholic and frequently beats all of the family members. So Joey just doesn't really want Aoife getting caught up on that. He's addicted to drugs. He's just causing a lot of trouble for himself as a means to escape his home life, I guess. But it's very obvious that Joey wants to be with Aoife, Aoife wants to be with Joey, but it's not happening. I think because in the first two books they are already together, you see Joey and Aoife together. I know they end up together and this is their story of how that comes about, but because I've seen them together, as much as I'm enjoying this, I'm like, right, I know you get together, I just want it to happen now. And I'm getting a bit, not bored, but I just want them to be together. I literally just want it to happen so we can move on. And we also know that Shannon, Joey's sister, who the first two books are about, she had a very rough time at the high school that they both go to. She was bullied really badly, and we've just seen the first snippet of that. So not only are you obviously seeing Joey and Aoife's story, but you're seeing a bit of background on what Shannon dealt with as well. I am enjoying it, but as I said, because I know Joey and Aoife end up together, I want it to happen now. But I'm halfway through. Obviously, I was already 200 pages into this when I started this video, so I haven't read 50% of it in an hour and a half. But I do feel like these books just take me such a long time to get through. So if I could get this done in the next couple of hours, I will be very happy. But I'm going to keep reading and hopefully we can get our first book ticked off. hell has broken loose and all the boys are fighting. Tiger's come out with a fucking broomstick. Just starts fucking hitting him. He's so funny. Hey, how y'all doing? Okay, so I did just wake up from a 4-hour nap. I had a headache, but it's okay because I paused the timer. So technically, it doesn't count. Free nap. I'm just making my tea. It's in the air fryer. And then I'm going to crack open an energy drink because, let's be honest, there's literally no chance I'm sleeping tonight. It's now like 9 p.m. and I've slept for like 4 or 5 hours. Listen, I'm not mad about it. That was like the best nap of my life. My headache's gone. I woke up hungry. All's right in the world, let's be honest. So I love living alone because this is the weird shit I get to make for myself whenever the hell I want. This is what I'm calling chicken burger loaded fries, which is essentially just cheesy chips with chicken tenders, burger sauce, pickles and crispy onions. And I don't think any other sane person, oh, don't look at my pots, I'm working my way through them. I don't think any sane person would choose to eat that at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, but you know what? I've got nobody here to tell me I can't. I've got 20 pages left. I'm so tired. Just finished Saving 6. It took me about 7 hours to finish this book. I don't know why it took me so long. I've settled on a 4-star, which of course is great, but I genuinely thought all of the books in this series were going to be 5 stars. Now I obviously didn't not enjoy this book, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and while of course Joey's story is just heartbreaking, I feel so bad for Aoife because of course Joey's the one struggling with addiction. Aoife's the one that's constantly trying to pull him back from it because she loves him so much, and it hurt to read about. I obviously loved it. I'm excited to go into Redeeming 6 and see what else happens, but it definitely wasn't my favourite in the series so far. I'm so tired right now. I feel like I can't even get words out. I love their story, but I feel like this one just didn't dive as deep or hit as hard as I guess the first 2 books, which is why it's not 5 stars. Mostly because the first 2 books in this series were 5-star because it was so painful to read that my chest hurt from crying so much. And this one hasn't got as high as a rating because it didn't make me feel like that. Does that make sense? It just wasn't as much of a page turner as the first 2 books, I guess. I don't really know how to justify my rating for this one. 4 stars is just how I'm feeling. It didn't give me the 5-star feelings as much as I love this, and I do think I'm going to enjoy Redeeming 6 a lot more than this one. That's just what I'm settling on. I'm sorry if that hurts some people, because I know this book is a lot of people's favourites, but it just wasn't mine. It's now 1 o'clock in the morning and I've got 17 hours and 42 minutes left on the timer. So that one took me a hot minute to finish. I didn't even start in this video. I've literally read 60% of that book today. I wish I had the UK paperback so I can figure out how many pages in UK terms I've read, because even though I have the US copy, in my head this book is obviously a lot bigger because I'm from the UK. Does that make any sense? This one is just under 500 pages, so I've probably read, what, just over 300 pages today. But if I was reading the UK edition, you know what? I want to know how many pages the UK edition is. Let's start with that, because that is how I'm going to justify why it took me 7 hours to read that book. Oh, I thought it was going to be a lot bigger, I'm not going to lie. The UK paperback of Saving 6 is 623 pages. So 150 pages more, maybe? Maths isn't her strong suit, okay. Like 150 pages more. So that's how I'm justifying it. I don't need to justify this. You know what? It doesn't even matter. It took me 7 hours to read or to finish Saving 6. I enjoyed it. I'm ready to move on to the next book. But I think I might need to get some sleep, even though I had a 4 or 5 hour nap before. I am really tired. That energy drink did nothing for me. So I'm gonna get a few hours of sleep and then I will resume the readathon when I'm feeling a little bit more awake, because right now the idea of reading more words on paper is hurting my head. I am so tired right now. That's the plan. Sleep, please. Hi. I'm back. I was going to sleep and then I started importing the footage for this video and I was like, well, I've got to wait for that because it takes a hot minute, so might as well start the next book. So I've just started, I was going to say Just for the Summer, that's not what this is called. Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I am going into this completely blind, not even read the back of it because it's Abby Jimenez. I'm gonna love it, let's be honest. So all I've gathered so far is Xavier. Is that his name? Xavier, that's how you say it, right? He's a vet. The book basically opens up with this woman coming into the clinic, or the vets, whatever you'd call it, to put her dog down, but the dog's perfectly healthy, and I was like, surely fucking not. They're not just gonna kill this dog. Anyway, he basically tells her that he's put the dog down and then keeps it for himself. And then Samantha, our female main character, comes in because she's found an abandoned kitten, and basically this kitten needs this massive surgery, and he basically says, look, she's going to be in pain, she needs putting down. And she's like, no, absolutely not. I'm going to raise the money for this kitten and you're going to eat your words. And that's exactly what she does. I will say, Xavier has been described as Rhysand from ACOTAR at least 3 times in the first 20 pages of this book. And when it first got mentioned, I was like, she knows what she's doing with this one. And then it kept getting brought up literally in the first 20 pages. I was like, okay, I get it. That's just me complaining about literally anything, let's be honest. And then Sam comes back to the vets with this kitten who has had this surgery, and she raised £10,000 for the surgery. Let me find it. Let me just read you the scene. So he says, I think she's in good shape, I said. I can clear her to fly. I'll give you something for the trip. Thanks. Then she waited, giving me a well look. Well, indeed. Would you like to go on a date with me? Absolutely. But you have to take me tonight. I leave tomorrow. Pick you up or meet you somewhere. Pick me up. 6:30. Sounds good. That's on page 18. She comes into his work with her kitten and he's like, do you want to go out with me? Yeah, sure. Cool. See you at 6:30. What? Oh, I don't know. It was just so abrupt that it just caught me off guard. Anyway, currently reading this. Those are my initial thoughts. I'm literally 30 pages in. I'll be back. book's already making me cry. Why does Abby Jimenez do this to me? This book just makes me want to hug my mum and tell her how much I love her. Not even 100 pages in, and it's just so sad. I don't even think it's meant to be sad, but it just makes me want to hug my mum. I think I need a little break. It's the next day, I'm awake, I'm revived, I've had some sleep, and I'm halfway through Say You'll Remember Me. This book packs a very unexpected emotional punch. We basically start with Xavier and Samantha. They meet in this clinic where Xavier works, and they go for this seemingly perfect first date, except when they get stuck in an escape room. But there's this miscommunication where Samantha says, "I'm leaving tomorrow, I have a flight." And Xavier's like, "Sure, I'll take you to the airport." But she's actually leaving permanently, and Xavier thinks she's just leaving for a trip. But she is moving back home to California to be with her mum, who is suffering with dementia, and she's going to take care of her because she's not seen her for such a long time. And she basically tells Xavier, "Look, just forget me because I'm not coming back. I'm going home and you won't see me again." And then he comes to visit her in California, and they have just this amazing, perfect time. And the intentions of Xavier going to see her was because he thought, if I see her again, she might not be this amazing, wonderful person that I think she is, and then I can get over her. Samantha thinks the same. It doesn't work out that way because then they start to like each other even more, and she has to say, "This isn't going to work, I'm not going back," and she has to call it off. She's not doing long distance, she has no intentions of moving back to where Xavier lives. He can't leave to live in California with her. They know it won't work, so they call it off, but they just cannot forget about each other. I am really enjoying this one. I knew I would probably enjoy it anyway because Abby Jimenez just puts something in her books that makes them so beautiful, so bingeable, just so entertaining from cover to cover. But I just didn't expect it to be so emotional. There's so many sad and beautiful passages in this that made me just want to hug my mum and tell my mum how much I love her and how much I care about her. And I ended up texting my mum at like 3 o'clock in the morning and just telling her that I love her. So this is an emotional one. As I said, I'm halfway through. I've paused the timer to talk to you, but I've got 14 hours and 45 minutes left, and I'm getting through this one quite quickly actually. I think it's only about 350 pages, so hopefully I can finish this one in the next couple of hours maybe, and I hope it doesn't break my heart because I just didn't expect this one to be so emotional. This man, are you joking? Abby Jimenez has done it again. This book made me laugh, cry, swoon. It broke my heart. It was just full of everything. If you are a sentimental person, this is the book for you. I really enjoyed seeing Xavier and Samantha battle with real life problems that were handled with such care, and throughout everything they just didn't give up on each other, even though it got quite literally as hard as it possibly could. They just stuck with it, and this is my new favourite Abby Jimenez book. It was just beautiful. I've settled on a 4.5. The only reason this isn't 5 stars is one, because he got referred to as re-signed from Qatar one too many times for my liking, which is a little bit picky. But the biggest reason is it just kind of lost me in the middle a little bit. The first 50% was addicting, and then between 50 and 80% I was a bit iffy, and then the last 20% just absolutely broke me, and I had to go and stick my lashes back on because I cried them all off. Just so incredibly beautiful, and I will never understand how Abby Jimenez can handle such sensitive topics with such care, while also writing amazing romances and imperfect characters dealing with imperfect situations. She's just that girl. 4.5 stars for Say You'll Remember Me. We have got 12 hours left on the timer. We're halfway there. We've got 2 books done. And then I think the next book I'm going to pick up is Creations Captive by Melody Joanne. This is a dark romance. And that's all I know about it, because I'm looking at the back, but I'm not reading it because I'm going to go into this blind. And the font in this, I don't know if you can tell, is ginormous. And it's only about 300 pages. So I think I'm going to start this one, and I will come back with an update when I have some thoughts. Oh, it's a bit bright actually. So I fear this challenge is going on for a little bit too long now. I'm slacking. I'm really slacking. Last I updated you, I was starting Creations Captive by Melody Joanne. I got 50 pages in and decided I didn't want to read a dark romance, so I stopped reading it. I did, however, start The Hunger Games. Bit of a rogue selection, but I saw Ellen reading Sunrise on the Reaping, and I watched Hunger Games a few nights ago, and I was like, you know what? I've never read The Hunger Games, which is criminal. So I thought, you know what? Let's just read it. This book is, oh sorry, it's really bright. This book is the epitome of nostalgia, and I can't believe I've never read the books. The Hunger Games films are probably up there with my favourite films of all time. I have been watching them since I was younger. I still watch them on repeat. So it was due. It was about time I picked this up. I'm on chapter 6, which is page 89, so I'm not very far in. And I still have, you can't even remotely see that, 10.5 hours left on the timer. I've been filming this video for 3 days now. The whole point was to not be doing the 24 hours over a week, but I have no excuse actually. I've been scrolling on TikTok and that's it. That's literally my only excuse. I've been scrolling on TikTok. So I'm gonna sit and actually try and read for longer than an hour. That's as far as my attention span goes, which was the whole point of filming this video, to read more books. I have the world's shortest attention span and I can't concentrate. My phone's distracting me and I just want to scroll on TikTok. So reading The Hunger Games, gonna sit and try and read for more than an hour. Probably not gonna happen. That's the only update I've got for you. I have successfully finished the first book in the Hunger Games series, and it just wouldn't make any sense to rate this any lower than a 5 star. I can't believe, as a lover of the films, how long it took me to pick this up. And it was so interesting to read after watching the films and being able to understand what's going on in Katniss's head and everything she's feeling and a little bit more detail. And for once, I'm actually glad that I watched the film before I read the book, because it meant I could pick out all the little details that are in the book that obviously aren't in the films and some of the things that are different. I also really enjoyed that it went into more detail, obviously, because it's the book, about the other tributes and getting to understand them a little bit better as characters, especially Rue. I feel like the film doesn't do it half its justice of how close Katniss and Rue actually were. And these books and the films have obviously been out for so many years that I feel like I can talk about this as freely as I want, because it's hopefully not going to give anyone spoilers. I'm sorry if it does, but I feel like everyone's kind of got an understanding of what happens either in the books or the films. But I really loved seeing Rue and Katniss and the friendship they got to develop and how they cared for each other. And it was also so perfectly paced that from cover to cover you're just completely entertained. There wasn't a single moment in this that I didn't find interesting or I was bored at. The audiobook for this, because I started to switch between the book and the audiobook. The audiobook was very entertaining and a bit of a random one, but it was read at the perfect pace so I could listen to it on 2 times speed without it sounding sort of like garbled like some of them do. So I really enjoyed the audiobook for this one. It just had that perfect sense of comfort and nostalgia, and although obviously this book has so much brutality and death in it, which of course isn't comforting, being in this world and understanding the characters, having watched the films, is in its own way comforting. And as someone who has loved the movies since I was so young, it was just so nostalgic, and being able to picture everything that happened was perfect. So that is the 3rd book we have completed for this 24-hour readathon, and of course a 5-star. And then it only really made sense to pick up the 2nd book, which is Catching Fire. I am now 92 pages into this one. Again, I've been listening to it on audio. So this is the next book that I'll be reading. We have got just under 5 hours left, so I'm hoping that I can get this one done. The audiobook for Catching Fire is, I think, around 11 or 12 hours long, and then on 2 times speed it should hopefully be half that amount of time. So I'm 20% in and I've got just under 9.5 hours left. So I'm hoping that I can get this one done in the time we've got left, and then we will have managed to read 4 books in the 24 hours. So that's where I'm up to. I'm gonna keep reading and I will come back with an update, or maybe when I'm done, because I'm getting through the audiobook so fast that I keep forgetting to update. So we made it! 24 hours are finally over. I, of course, wanted this video to be 12 hours and 12 hours. Clearly it didn't work out that way because we are on day 4 of filming this video. But I read for the full 24 hours. I timed it very well, actually. I finished Catching Fire 1 minute before the timer went off. So I have used up every single minute of the readathon, which is great. So a little recap on some of the books I read in this video. We started off with Saving Six by Chloe Walsh, which was a 4-star. Obviously, I'm in love with that series. It wasn't my favourite book in the series, shall we just say, but I still loved every second of it. I'm so excited to get back into the Tom and College world and see what happens in book 2 with Joey and Aoife. Then I read Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. It's the newest released by Abby Jimenez, and I adored that book so much. It was so close to being a 5-star. Their ability to just write imperfect situations and imperfect characters and make you fall in love with them and their romance and their families and all the side characters, everything about her books is perfect, and Say You'll Remember Me was absolutely no exception from that. And then to finish off the video, we of course read The Hunger Games book 1 and 2, so Hunger Games and Catching Fire, which were both 5 stars. It would be so wrong for me to not rate 2 incredibly in-depth and nostalgic, well-paced, beautifully written with incredible characters and side characters and plot points, and just the whole world of the Hunger Games is just perfect to me. I absolutely loved it, and I'm so glad that I managed to pick the books up. I don't think I actually said I did rate Catching Fire 5 stars. I did way prefer it to the first book, but they get the same rating in their own right. But I think I prefer Catching Fire just because that is definitely my favourite film from the series. So in my opinion, a very successful readathon. I'm so happy that I managed to knock not only just 4 books off, but 4 books off my physical TBR, which is the goal for this year. And I'm very happy with my little self. I would actually also love to just try and do the 24 hours straight, but right now I have not got it in me, and I don't know when I will have it in me, because I know if I attempted that right now, I would fail. I would big fat fail. But on that positive note, that concludes the end of this video. Very happy with myself. Want to try and do this again. I absolutely love filming readathons, I found. And putting a little bit of a challenge in there just makes it all that more enjoyable. I would love to know your thoughts if you have read any of these books. I'm sure so many of you have read, well, all of these books. The Boys of Tommen series and the Hunger Games series are both very well loved, and I'm sure a lot of people have already read Abby Jimenez's new book. But I would love to hear your thoughts on any of them. If you would like to see more from me, stick around, show some love, subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you in the next one.